Yo, what's up, YouTube? So, it's the end of 2019, boys and girls. This year has just flown past, mate, and movie-wise, it's been proper stacked. It's kind of funny that at the end of every single year, certain, YouTubers and stuff, I look forward to their top 10 lists more than any lists. And I always watch them and think, it's totally easy, man, but it ain't, mate. This is really hard, man. I had to put all these movies I've seen this year, which is pretty much nearly every single big release, and put them into a top 10. It was surprisingly hard, boys and girls. But anyway, this is going to be my top 10 best movies of the year. 2019, that is. Now, before we crack on with the list, boys and girls, I want to quickly say 3 things. First of all, little disclaimer, this is my own useless opinion on a top 10 best list. If you agree or disagree, that is totally cool, man. Let's have a chat in the comment section below. The second thing I want to quickly say, there is 3 major movies that I did not see this year, and it is because the UK sucks, mate. Those 3 movies are The Lighthouse, Just Mercy, and 1917. At the time of this recording, which is the 23rd of December, all 3 of those movies are not showing in my cinema or any cinemas near me, so I haven't seen those 3, and I know already people have told me that The Lighthouse is meant to be an actual masterpiece, and I was actually really looking forward to it. I've done trailer reactions, and it looks totally unique, and I'm pretty gutted, man. I don't even think it's coming to the UK, mate. And the same goes for Just Mercy and 1917. Again, not in my cinema. I actually think 1917 is coming out, in January in the UK, or my cinema anyway. But yeah, those 3, I ain't seen them. And finally, I've got some honourable mentions, boys and girls, and they just didn't make the top 10 list, but I really, really enjoyed them, and they are as follows: Ford v Ferrari, Doctor Sleep, Annabelle Comes Home, and Brightburn. Those 4 just didn't make my top 10 list. If it was like a top 15 or 20, they would have easily made the list, but unfortunately, there's only 10. And now, starting off the list, we have at number 10, Detective Pikachu. When it first got announced they were making this movie, and Ryan Reynolds was voicing Pikachu, I was on board, mate. If you've been following me for a while, I'm a massive, massive Pokemon fan, and this movie did not disappoint me. The CGI is good, the overall story's pretty good. It's actually got, really good dark and, emotional bits mixed throughout. Huge range of Pokemon. They all look really good in the world they've built, and talking about the world, it looks massive and lived in. If you're a Pokemon fan, you need to go see this movie, mate. It's worth your time. Coming in at number 9, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. You know, you hear that term all the time, the movie's big or whatever. This movie is big. Not just size-wise, destruction-wise, it's a monstrous movie. That sounds so cheesy, but it really is. I like the first Godzilla. I just thought, the human side of things was very weak, and this one's actually the same. The human side, much like Detective Pikachu, in fact, the human side is pretty dull. But, oh my days, the monsters, when they're on the screen, wow, mate, it is no joke. They are massive. I love the fights. I love the variety of monsters. And King Ghidorah is just a spectacle, mate. When Godzilla and him are fighting, it is amazing, and I can't wait for Godzilla vs King Kong. Even though King Kong's going to get battered, mate. Punching their way into number 8, Hobbs and Shaw. This movie is just testosterone, mate. Yeah, that's all it is. It's so dumb, and some of the things that happen in this movie, there's just no way it's possible, physically possible, nothing, but it's so good. The story itself is a bit there, but the characters, the fighting, the cars, Idris Elba as Black Superman, as he calls himself, this movie was amazing, mate. The chemistry that Dwayne Johnson has with Jason Statham, it is amazing, and I've just realised I don't have it on Blu-ray. Why not? I need to go and buy it. As soon as this video's done, I'm going on Amazon, mate, straight away. Also, the cool thing about this movie, you don't necessarily need to, see or appreciate the Fast and Furious films. It's properly, segregated, and it's its own thing. It just works so damn well, mate. The cameos are amazing, and I hope we get a sequel. Now, number 7, Eli. Eli is a Netflix movie, and it's a horror film, and you guys and girls know I love me horror. And, oh my days, mate, just, if there wasn't another horror film that came out, which I'll talk about in a little bit, this would have been my number 1 horror movie of the whole year, mate. Just, the twists and turns are unbelievable. The story's good, it's super dark, and the last 20 minutes. It is unbelievable. If anyone could look you in the eyes and say, "Oh, I saw that twist coming," they are straight up lying to your face, mate. If you're a horror fan, I urge you, please go and see Eloi. It's so different from any horror film I've ever seen. It was a treat, mate. It's a really good film. And now, talking about that other horror movie that just beat it, It Chapter 2. If you've been subbed to me for a while, you know It Chapter 1 is one of my favourite horror movies of all time. And the second one does not disappoint. Pennywise is amazing. I love the new cast as their older versions. Just the way they interact, it's amazing, mate. It was really good. I'm so glad they made a Chapter 2 because they hit like gold dust, mate, with that first movie. A lot of people do complain about its runtime, and rightfully so. It is a long-ass movie, but in my opinion, if you're a fan of the first one, you will not be let down, mate. The second one is really, really good. Web-slinging his way into number 5, Spider-Man Far From Home. I was very worried about this movie for 2 reasons. I thought, like, there's no way it's going to be better than Homecoming, which it totally is. And it's coming after Avengers Endgame, one of, like, the biggest movies ever made. And it held its own, man. It's a really good story. It's emotional. The CGI is amazing. The story's really good. I mean, Tom Holland, he is just the best, man. He's Spider-Man. I don't know what else to say. The dude is Spider-Man. And I really like Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. He's a proper, like, unique villain, unlike anything we've seen in the MCU. And it had a lot of, like, world building to do, because this movie, in the timeline as well, comes out after Endgame. So they have a lot of things, like, to explain, and they do it really well, man. It's funny, the action's good, the twists and turns good, and the last 10-15 minutes is masterclass, mate. Coming in at number 4, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. So at the time of this recording, that movie came out like 4 days ago, mate, and it did not let me down. I'm so happy with this movie. JJ smashed it once again, man. He had a hard time picking up the pieces that Rian Johnson left. He had to pick it up, fix it, tell a new story, end the trilogy, and then end a 9-film saga. I mean, that is no joke. But for me, he done it really good, man. Sure, he's got his flaws, but overall, it's a solid movie, and that is why it's at number 4 on my useless list. Right now, the next 3, I was like that, mate. It was so difficult, but I've done it now. Shooting his way into number 3, John Wick 3. If they make another 10 chapters for John Wick 3, I'm invested, I'm down for it. Day 1, my bum's in the cinema, I'm buying it on Blu-ray. Just John Wick, Keanu Reeves. I don't know, there's something about it, man. I could watch hours upon hours of just him shooting people, and I love it. The kills in this movie, holy crap, mate. Just when you see the first one, you think they can't do anything better. Number 2 comes out and you're like, that's better. And the same thing, I thought there's no physical way they can make it better than 2, and they did, mate. Just side note, John Wick 1, 2 and 3, they all get 10 out of 10s from me. They're some of my favourite movies ever. There's just something about them, and I've already said it, I could watch it on and on and on. It's number 3 on my list, 10 out of 10. And now, laughing his way to number 2, Joker. This movie blew me away, mate. It is a character movie, it's a horror movie, it's an action thriller. It is so much in this movie, it's unbelievable. Joaquin Phoenix, he's a masterclass. He's an A-star actor, he's 10 out of 10. The directing is 10 out of 10. The movie, in fact, I gave it 10 out of 10. I gave all 3 of these top ones 10 out of 10, just in case you're wondering. I've actually still only seen Joker twice, and for me, that's pretty rare, man. I've seen, like, on this list, multiple times. I've seen every single film. But I want to wait for it to come out on Blu-ray in the UK, man, because that movie is proper, mate. And for me to only see it twice, and it's stuck with me, and it's been out for months now, man. Just, that movie, there's not enough time to talk about how good that movie is. If you haven't seen Joker yet, for any reason, go and see it right now. And now, my number 1 pick for the best movie of 2019, and just the most epic, monumental movie of the whole year, maybe of that decade, mate. Avengers Endgame. I don't know where to start, mate. If you take Endgame, right, and Infinity War, just those 2 movies, they are such monstrous films. It's unreal, mate. I love seeing what happened after the snap. I love the bleak world. I love the action. I love them getting together at the end. I love the more brutal Thanos. I love everything, mate. There's just nothing I dislike in this movie. In fact, the only thing I dislike is when it ended, because I was gutted, because I wanted more. The action is unbelievable. It's really, really emotional. Just in general, everyone who worked on like the MCU overall, Disney, Marvel, Kevin Feige, every single person. You just need to be told over and over again, you're amazing, man. You're all amazing. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is my top 10 best movies of 2019. And again, it was surprisingly really hard to make this list, man. I saw a lot of films, man. I started my YouTube channel in about April time. And I went back to my like movie review playlist and there was like 120 there. And I was just like, wow, this is going to be really hard, man. And especially those top three, that killed me, mate. Making the decision for those top three, that was hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching my video. Again, if you agree or disagree, please let me know in the comment section below. If you're new here, smash that stupid subscribe button. I will see you all in the next one. Remember, you will subscribe.